Yes, Naidoo-Jooste is a creator and working professional. She is also a wife and mother to her very sweet cat. Yes recently started a business and brand to help people create balance and joy in both work and life. Her greatest achievement is overcoming her belief that she was not capable of creating the life she truly wanted, which held her back for most of her life. It was this very achievement that inspired her to create her business and help others overcome limiting beliefs of their own. Yas is an advocate for living a balanced life. When she's not working or pursuing her passions, she enjoys spending time with her loved ones, taking her cat for walks, and reading. Hi, I'm Sanchia Vandayar, and this is Zero Podcast. In this episode, I get to ask Yas a few questions. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Yas. Tell us about yourself and what inspired you to create your brand and business.
Hi, Sanchia. Thanks so much for having me. I want to first take a moment to say it is a privilege to see what you are doing, creating this podcast, putting it out into the world, and inspiring people, showing them what they are truly capable of. It's incredible to see, to learn from, and it's a great privilege to be here. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. And I had to just take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate you. So, who am I? My name is Yas Naidoo-Jooste, and simply, I am someone who cares deeply for others. I want to help people live their absolute best lives. I'm also a wife and mother to the world's cutest ginger cat. Professionally, I am a Scrum Master, and for those of you who may not be familiar with the role, it is someone who assists and coaches teams of individuals to self-organize, to become high-performing, and to also overcome any blockers or impediments to their work. Quite recently, I became a business owner. The business is called Mindful Agile, and there's a lot of intention behind the name. So the word mindful means to have increased awareness of the present moment without judgment. And the word agile means to be adaptable and flexible no matter what you face in life. The business is still very much in its discovery phase, so I kicked off long before I felt I was ready. It was necessary for me to do this so that I could gain confidence and build momentum at the same time. And I don't have any products or services out just yet. I'm still figuring out, do I want to offer coaching services? Do I want to create courses or written work? I'm just giving myself time to allow it to unfold in its perfect timing, and also figuring out what is a sustainable and enjoyable pace for me, because I am working a full-time job and I am pursuing my passions on the side. It does take a lot on you, so I don't want to rush this and burn myself out in the process. Like, I really want to practice what I preach, what I am teaching in the work that I want to create. I want to live what I'm teaching as well. So it is going to take me some time, probably a lot of time, before I can create something that will be generating the business revenue. But I think what matters most is that I'm very clear on the mission, and that is to help people create balance and joy through increased awareness and adaptability in both work and life. So while I am building the business, I'm also working on building my brand as the Mindful Agile Coach. And I do this through sharing content on social media. Currently, I am on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And what I do is share ideas on how to incorporate mindful and agile practices in different circumstances that many of us experience in life, whether they may be small or quite significant. The idea is to educate people on how to navigate these moments that challenge us and how to take action even when we don't feel comfortable doing so. So, in creating this content, I am also discovering more of what it is that I want to be doing and what I enjoy doing. The content that I create has required me to develop my skills in creative writing as well as designing imagery. And I'm having the most fun experimenting and exploring these areas. So I'm actually I'm having so much fun, and I'm so happy just creating content right now because it's something that I've never really done before. I've never been creative in this way before. It's bringing me so much happiness that I'm actually not feeling that much pressure to be generating revenue right now. It's crazy to say, I'm a business owner and I'm not generating any revenue, but I'm so happy. It's quite incredible, this experience that I'm having right now. And if I look at what inspired me to get to where I'm at today, it's quite the opposite, interestingly enough. So it was towards the end of the year 2022 where I went through what felt like the lowest point of my life. It felt like every area of my life was out of balance. My job did not align with what I truly wanted. My personal life did not align with what I valued. I felt burnt out. I felt drained. I felt hopeless. And I was in this state for some time, for a few months, and it got worse and worse, and I fell lower and lower until I hit absolute rock bottom, where I had to ask myself, what now? Am I going to accept defeat? Am I going to continue living life miserably? Or am I going to take it upon myself to change things? Do I actually have the ability to turn my life around? I asked myself these things. And, at the time, I didn't think that it was possible for me to do anything about it. But after asking myself these questions repeatedly, something inside of me, it was like this inner knowing, something inside of me told me that I am capable of making things better, of turning my life around. And I didn't expect it to be easy. Like, I knew I'm already exhausted. Any more effort that I take to change things it's going to be even more exhausting. But I did it anyway. I took the smallest actions that I could manage. I looked up to people that I admired to learn from them. I listened to podcasts for inspiration. I looked at my job for inspiration. My job taught me how to apply the lessons and practices of agility to my personal life. And on this journey, I also learned about mindfulness and the great impact that both mindfulness and agility had on this journey of mine to turn my life around. It was so significant that I realized I actually want to help other people through what I have learned. I want to create something that can help other people turn their life around, shift their beliefs, and create a joyful life and joyful experiences in the way that I have. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am enjoying the experience of putting information out into the world to help people. I'm being creative through writing and designing. I'm learning more about what it is that I enjoy doing. And I'm very excited and hopeful for the potential that this will bring.
Why is your mission important to you?
This all matters so much to me because I know what it's like to go through life not feeling fulfilled and thinking that nothing can be done about it. I lived that life for just over 30 years, but I proved to myself that extraordinary things can happen, extraordinary changes can take place when you shift your beliefs and you place trust in yourself and in the possibilities, the limitless possibilities. I want to empower people to experience what I have experienced and what I'm still experiencing. I mean, I mentioned that right now I'm at this stage of this business where I'm only discovering what I want to do and I'm not generating any revenue. And I'm putting in a lot of time and it's some days it's exhausting, but I'm happy. I'm truly happy. Like, I don't feel pressured. I don't feel rushed to have everything figured out just so that I can generate money from it. Right now, what I'm doing, the the connections that I'm building with people, the lessons that people have taken from the content that I've shared, that has brought me so much joy already. And it just proves that when you align your intentions and your actions with what you truly want, you truly can create a life that is joyful.
Why do you think people hold back from creating the life that they want?
I feel it comes down to fear and limiting beliefs. At least that was my experience. I used to think that my circumstances were completely fixed, that I was not capable of making any meaningful change, and even if I were capable, nothing would become of it. So for most of my life, I was held back by the belief that being a brown female, I would just not make it in this world. The world was not designed for people who look like me to succeed. That I would have to give in to the demands and expectations of others, and I just could not pursue the kind of life that I truly wanted for myself. And it was during that very low period in my life where I had to face those limiting beliefs head on. And it was uncomfortable. It is not nice to raise those deep, dark feelings and thoughts that keep you stuck. But it was necessary. And I chose to turn towards those feelings and thoughts with kindness. Those very uncomfortable feelings, the fear, the frustration, the disappointment, the despair. I chose to love them because that was who I was in that moment in time. I was imperfect, far from what I wanted to be. But in order to move forward, I had to accept exactly what I was in that moment. And as I grew more comfortable with who I was, I then felt comfortable to look deeper into those limiting beliefs. And I questioned myself, how true are these beliefs? Is it a fact that a person who looks like me cannot succeed in this world, cannot have a life that is joyful and fulfilling? Was it actually true? I couldn't find any evidence. I'm so happy to say it wasn't true. And I was able to look to people out there in the world, well-known people and less well-known people, the people that I knew in my personal life, who came from humble backgrounds, no extravagant life situations that, gave them the life that they have today. They created all of that for themselves. And they did not allow any belief to hold them back from doing that. And so when I just looked at the facts more clearly, I began to realize that it was only me that was holding myself back. My beliefs that were preventing me from taking action and pursuing the life that I wanted, they were only thoughts. They weren't necessarily true. And I had then learned that it was possible for me to create new thoughts, that I was capable of making changes in my life, that I was capable of learning new skills and being able to shift my life into a different direction. I didn't expect it to happen very quickly, so certainly not overnight and certainly not within a few days. I actually didn't think so much about how long it would take. What I did focus on was just the belief that I was capable. And yes, the fear was still there. So fear is not something that you can say, it's not true, I can change it. That feeling will still be there. But what I discovered about fear was that it was simply pointing out that I just had something new to learn, or some belief that I needed to let go of. My fear was simply there to protect me because I was stepping into complete unknown territory. I was creating something new for my life. And of course, my body was going to go into protection mode. It doesn't know what this is, so it perceives it as a threat. And so there's going to be fear. But these changes were not threatening to my life. And I had to constantly remind myself of that. And so I worked with my fear. I listened to my fear. I understood that in order to build my confidence, there was some learning to do. There was some upskilling to do. In order to work through my limiting beliefs, I had to get really uncomfortable to face them and to turn towards them with kindness. And I guess the fear doesn't really ever go away. It's always going to be there. And it's a good thing, really. It's a great indication that you're alive and your body cares enough to alert you and to try to protect you. But what I have learned is to not allow fear to hold me back from going after what I truly want. I have learned to listen to fear, to maybe try things in a different way, and to build my knowledge and to build my confidence, but never to hold back just because it feels scary and uncomfortable. I'm going to do it anyway. I am going to take fear on the journey with me, and maybe my fear might just learn a thing or two in the process. So really, it comes down to the fear and those limiting beliefs that hold us back from creating the life that we really want. But I'm so happy to share with you that those limiting beliefs, they can absolutely be shifted. And the fear, well, the fear can actually become your best friend and guide you towards what it is that you truly want.
What has been your greatest lesson since starting your journey as a creator?
I've had so many lessons on this journey, but I can definitely share the top 3, and they're related to beliefs, fear, and overwhelm. So the first one Our beliefs, like I mentioned previously, they hold so much power over the way that we experience life. And in all that I have discovered in the last year, I have come to trust that we truly are limitless in our potential. And if our beliefs are what's holding us back, we can absolutely shift those beliefs and we can shift the way that we experience life. The past year has proved that to me, and I know this to be true now. The second lesson is making fear your friend. Fear can hold us back so much from making progress or even getting started. And if we truly want something, if we truly desire something, we cannot let fear hold us back from going after it. We cannot wait for fear to decrease or disappear because it's not going to happen. Fear is always going to be there. And the only way to move forward is to look at fear as your friend that's simply guiding you in needing to learn more to become more confident and perhaps letting go of limiting beliefs that absolutely do not serve you. And lastly, the lesson of listening to overwhelm. So, as I've mentioned, I work a full-time job. I pursue my passions on the side, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. It can be incredibly exhausting. And there are days where, despite being so happy with what I'm doing, what I'm creating, there are still days where I feel exhausted and I feel like I don't know if I can keep this up. And I have to constantly remind myself that there is no perfect balance. For each person, balance is going to look different because each person's life is different. And even if you do manage to find a state of balance in your life, it's never going to be the same because things come up unexpectedly, your schedule changes unexpectedly, and it's a continuous process for me to reflect on all that I'm doing and how it's making me feel. And the moment I feel overwhelmed, I know that whatever I'm doing is not working. So whether I am building up these beliefs that are absolutely not true, so something that I do often that I'm aware of is I worry way too much about the future. I look at all of the things that I have agreed to do, all of the commitments that I've made, all of the personal goals that I've set for myself. And when I look at everything that's coming up for the next few months, it overwhelms me. And in that moment, I feel like I just can't do it. It's too much. I'm just one person. And then I have to remind myself to be present because right now, I'm not in the future. Right now, I am right here. And right here is safe, and it is peaceful, and it is okay that I am experiencing this feeling of overwhelm. There's nothing wrong with me feeling this way. So I have had to learn to listen to my overwhelm. It visits me very often, definitely weekly, sometimes daily, and I have to adapt my schedule so that I'm not loading myself with more work and insufficient time to rest and to play, to have enjoyable moments. I have to create enough space and time for me to have bits of all the things that I want in my life in proportions that are right for me based on where I am in my life.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue the life that they really want but feels afraid?
If there is something that you truly want, it would not have come to you if it wasn't meant for you. You already possess the potential to make it happen. Yes, you may need to learn a few things or a lot of things, but you are capable as it is. Yes, there will be fear, so it will be scary, but you can do it. You just have to lean into your desire more than the fear and understand that the fear is only trying to protect you because this is new. This is you stepping into the unknown and it seems threatening. But be kind to your fear. Make fear your friend and bring it on the journey with you. Let it learn that there is another way. And if I could sum this up into just one sentence, it is all that you need is already within you. Thank you, Sanchia.
Thanks, yes, and thanks to all listening.